Good morning, good evening, greetings and salutations. I am Reverend Richard Moonchild, and I would like to invite you all to come with me into the shadows. Good evening. How's everyone doing? First of all, I'd like to say that until I started this research, I did not know just how crazy this story had actually become in the United States. Um, I know the movies and everything have been pretty popular. It's just the way things are, I guess. Uh, I'll start with the beginning. There is a being that has been with Christmas for a very long time. It is one of the most evil creatures you will ever hear of. And he is being embraced and celebrated around the world even more today. He was actually pushed away and removed from the Christmas holiday for a long time. And now I find that there are parties going on all around the world and in cities like New York and New Orleans that are celebrating this Christmas cryptid. And no, I'm not talking about the Grinch. This dude makes the Grinch look like a puppy. He is half goat, half devil. Carries around a set of chains with bells on them to lash out, and a bundle of birch wood rods to swat children who are being naughty or have been naughty for the year. Have any of y'all left your boots outside last night? Did you wake up this morning with anything in them? I'm talking about Krampus, the Christmas devil, Santa Claus's evil twin brother. But the funny thing is, he's not really connected to Christmas. He's actually the child of a Norse goddess of the underworld, Nell. This creature shows up on the 5th of December, which is called Krampus Nacht or Krampus Night. Sorry, I had to look at my notes to make sure I was saying it correctly. Today, being December 6th, is Nicolastag. Boy, I got to practice my German a little more. Or Saint Nicholas Day. Krampus is derived from the German of Krampen, which is the word that means claw. He is the son of Hel, the Norse mythological god or goddess, of the underworld and is related to satyrs and fauns in Greek and Roman mythos. He's got horns, dark hair all over his body, and fangs like a vampire. He uses those birch rods for swatting children and chains them up and drags them, if they've been naughty, down to his lair, which is in the underworld of Hel, under the same name as the goddess in Norse mythology. Now, there is an actual modern take going on all around the world. It's been going on for a very long time. We've got Austria, Germany, Hungary, Czech Republic. They're all involved. They all have it. They have what they call a Krampus loaf or Krampus run of sorts, where drunken men dress up as devils and run through the streets chasing people. Boy, could you imagine that happening in the United States? We'd have a lot of drunk Christmas devils in jail for public drunk. I didn't know what to say to that when I actually found that out. I didn't know this was all going on. I've seen the movies, I've heard the legends and the mythos about him, but I had never really thought about this being something that people actually do. uh, some similarities to the satyrs and the fauns only come in his looks. Although he is gruesome, he does look more like a faun or a satyr. Although he is 6 foot tall and greasy. That's about the best way I can put it. He's dripping in goo. A lot of his hair is matted and he looks absolutely horrible. But as I have said, they are trying to bring this Christmas devil back. He was actually forbidden by the Catholic Church because they felt that it was too scary for children and that he looked too much like the devil himself. Well, I can see their point. He does kind of look like the depictions of Satan. That is rather interesting that that is the case. Austria is commercializing this devil's persona by selling chocolates, figurines, and collectible horns, and he is quickly losing his edge because of his commercial popularity going on around the world. But in all honesty, before Santa Claus started giving out coal, this dude was coming around to everyone's homes on the 5th of December on Krampusnacht, and he would leave candy or chocolates or a present in children's boots that they left outside if they were good. And he would leave a rod in the shoe of the ones that were bad. And then he would come out with Santa Claus and take the naughty ones down to his lair, never to return. I'd say that's a pretty scary story to be a Christmas story. Like I said, the Catholic Church tried to get rid of Krampus altogether. Also, the in Europe during World War II, and it started in 1937. They started trying to get rid of him because they believed that he was created by the fascists. But actually, this critter has been around for a lot longer than the Christmas story. He dates back all the way into Norse mythology, all the way back into Viking times, in the pre-Germanic. I mean, he's all over the place. And he was brought out just about the same time that Saint Nicholas was coming into fruition before he became Santa Claus. So that would put him dated somewhere about 1500 to 1700 years ago. Um, Bear with me. This is my first episode, so you're gonna have to. I'm getting into the fluid of this. So, uh, we have Krampus being embraced and celebrated in the U.S. now because of the movies and TV-based episodes like Supernatural has done several on Krampus. They're throwing Krampus parties and attending local Krampus knocks in cities like Washington, D.C. and New Orleans, and running in Krampus themed races that are beginning to make the Christmas devil cool. I don't think he's so cool, but I don't really have anything to worry about. Have you been good this year? Being that this is December 6th, he made his run last night. So if anybody out there has found anything in their shoes that they left out this morning, you might want to check. If you had any rain boots or anything sitting outside or your work boots, you might want to take a look in them and see if there's a present for you or a birchwood rod. If there's a birchwood rod, you might want to be worried because when you hear them Christmas bells on Christmas night, you might actually realize that it's not actually Santa Claus. It's Krampus walking through your door with his chains rattling his bells, making children think that he's Santa Claus so they'll come to him. And then he grabs them, swats them with his birchwood rods, and drags them down to heel to his lair in the underworld. So, Christmas has not always been the light-hearted, jolly, beautiful season that everybody thought. It has had some darkness behind it for quite some time. They tried to get rid of it, but it never really took. Krampus actually has outlived every single push to get rid of him. When they started trying to push him out in Europe, people still celebrated it behind closed doors. And now, because of the bah humbug feelings with Christmas these days, with a lot of people in the United States and around the world, he is making a comeback big time. And if you believe in Greek and Norse mythology, the more you believe in a thing, the more possible that thing is real. You'll bring it into reality. So we have to be careful what we actually follow. We might just bring Krampus out into the open. You never know. Anything's possible, however improbable it may seem. And we have to believe that all of these creatures in mythos are based on something that someone has seen at some point in time. There's truth in every myth, all based on something. So, if you entered into a Krampus knocked last night, I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you was at a Krampus party or a Krampus run, or you buy the chocolates and figurines and collectible horns from around the world to help with his commercial popularity, I hope everyone enjoyed it. But just remember that these things can actually be a reality. Look at Bigfoot. Look at ghosts. No, we don't know for sure if they're real, but we see possibilities. We see evidence of something being there. So who's to say that believing in this Krampus Christmas devil might not actually bring him out in the open? Now, my next episode, as I get further into this, is going to be on Christmas origins. The origins of Santa Claus, the origins of the Christmas tree, because all of that is based on pagan belief, just the same as Krampus is. It's all derived from ancient pagan beliefs. Christmas tree behind me is actually a pagan symbol. And it's starting to come out now that that's the case. More and more people every single day are realizing that. My show is going to be about the shadowy sides of everything. That's the whole reason for it. So, be careful what you bring into the light because the shadows are always behind it. And if you are celebrating things like Krampus, along with Santa Claus or without, you have to remember and know where this where the origins of these stories are coming from. Because, I mean, they've been around for a long, long time. A lot of people think that just because of the fact that Coca-Cola really brought out Santa Claus a little over 100 years ago, that that was what created Santa Claus, but that's not really the case. Santa Claus has been around for almost 1,700 years. So has Krampus. So has the Christmas tree, if not longer. A lot like the Halloween celebrations. They all started out in pagan belief. Most of the celebrations that we have during the Yuletide time of the year are all based on pagan beliefs. So, if you've been interested in the movies, that's good. My wife and son love them. Me, it's okay. I don't really get into horror films as much as they do, but it's there. So I'll watch it. Some of it's kind of funny, honestly. But always remember that Santa didn't always give coal. He had his brother, Krampus, take care of the naughty ones while he took care of the nice ones. And he would literally beat naughty children into being good. Hmm. Got to think about that for a minute. These days, not so much. So I hope everyone has a happy holidays. I hope everyone has a very good week. And I hope everyone has had a wonderful St. Nicholas Day. Till next time, I'll be in the shadows.